Welcome to Podcasts. Flight Pima 12 gets shot down by a missile, killing 157 Americans. A Treasury analyst flees to Istanbul after allegedly murdering his boss. And somehow, these two events are connected by a web of crypto transactions, political corruption, and a journalist whose father might be the key to everything. Today, we're breaking down The Night Agent Season 3. Specifically how this season turned Peter Sutherland's moral compass into his biggest weakness, why the crypto conspiracy is more terrifying than it sounds, and what that wild finale means for Season 4. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how Netflix crafted their most complex conspiracy yet, and why this season hits different than the previous two.
So let's start with the setup. Where exactly did Season 2 leave our boy Peter?
Oh man, Peter is in the worst possible position. According to the page content, Season 2 ends with him trying to do the right thing in the worst possible way. He stops a major attack, but he makes this morally dangerous deal with power broker Jacob Monroe. Then Catherine Weaver basically forces him to weaponize his own guilt.
Wait, weaponize his guilt? That sounds intense.
Exactly. The page content explains it perfectly. Peter's instincts want a clean win, but his job now requires dirty proximity. Lies, cover stories, compromise, just to get evidence. He has to get close to Monroe, do what Monroe says, and uncover who's on his payroll.
So Season 3 is basically Peter's moral nightmare come to life.
And that tension is baked right into the season's main plot. Netflix's official setup has Peter tracking down a young Treasury agent who flees to Istanbul with sensitive intel after killing his boss. But it's so much messier than it sounds.
Let's talk about that Treasury agent, Jay Batra. What's his deal?
Jay Batra is played by Suraj Sharma, and he's this FinCEN analyst who discovered something huge. According to Entertainment Weekly's breakdown, he investigated suspicious transfers from US-based shell companies to a crypto wallet connected to the terrorist group LFS.
And his boss told him to stop investigating?
Worse than that, his boss Benjamin Wallace demanded he not investigate those transfers. A fight ensues, Wallace ends up dead, and Jay flees to Istanbul. But here's the kicker. Jay didn't actually murder Wallace.
Oh, really? So what actually happened?
According to Screen Rant's analysis, Wallace actually attacked Jay to get rid of the suspicious activity reports that Jay had flagged. Jay was defending himself. And those reports? They highlighted substantial deposits from American companies into crypto wallets.
So Jay basically predicted the terrorist attack without knowing it.
Exactly. The page content from Fandom Wire explains that Jay had unintentionally predicted the terrorist attack. And that means with access to similar reports, he could do it again. That's what makes him so dangerous to the conspiracy.
Now, let's break down the episodes. Season 3 has 10 episodes, all dropping February 19th. What can you tell us about the structure?
The episode runtimes are interesting. They range from 47 to 56 minutes according to the page content. Episode 1, Call Waiting, is 56 minutes, which suggests they're really taking time to set up this complex conspiracy.
And that first episode starts with Flight Pima 12 getting shot down?
Right. According to the episode descriptions, a deadly attack ignites a crisis within the White House, while Peter pursues a fugitive in Istanbul who's stolen classified files. It's this dual-track storytelling that immediately connects the domestic crisis to Peter's mission.
Episode 2 is called Package Deal. That title sounds ominous.
The description says Peter considers a deal with the devil. That's probably referring to his relationship with Jacob Monroe. Meanwhile, Isabel follows a suspicious document trail down the rabbit hole, and Night Action gets a harsh lesson in compliance.
Wait, who's Isabel again?
Isabel de Leon, played by Genesis Rodriguez. She's this financial journalist who becomes crucial to the story. According to the cast information, she puts Peter on a collision course with this relentless journalist. That's her.
And she's working with Peter to uncover the conspiracy?
Eventually, yes. The synopsis says they work together to uncover buried secrets and old grudges that threaten to bring the government to its knees and get them both killed in the process.
Let's jump to episode 4, Orion. That one sounds like it gets intense.
Oh, it does. Peter's visit to an exclusive hunting lodge turns into a fight for survival. And this is where we get one of the major deaths. According to Screen Rant's twist rankings, the father kills Senator Lansing at this hunting retreat.
The father? That's one of the assassins?
Yeah, Stephen Moyer plays the father. He's this mysterious assassin working for the conspiracy. The page content describes how he shoots Senator Lansing in the head just as Lansing is about to reveal too much about his role in the conspiracy.
That's brutal. And Chelsea's getting suspicious about White House statements not adding up?
Right, Fola Evans Akingbola plays Chelsea Arrington, and she's doing her own investigation. The episode description mentions her concerns growing when a White House statement doesn't add up. She's basically the inside person questioning the official narrative.
Episode 5 is the isolation play. Sounds like a chess move.
It's all about timing. The description says every second counts as Peter and Adam infiltrate a casino on a high-stakes mission. Meanwhile, Jay finds clues to the next strike hidden in a crypto wallet. This is where the financial crimes really start connecting to the terrorist activities.
The crypto angle is fascinating. It's not just trendy tech, it's showing how modern financial crimes work.
Exactly. Traditional banking has oversight, but crypto transactions can be much harder to trace. The page content mentions these transactions were being funneled toward arms dealer Raul Zapata and the terrorist organization LFS through Walcott Capital.
And Walcott Capital is this powerful American bank?
Right, headed by CEO Freya Myers. According to the ending explanations, she becomes pivotal in validating Isabel's story. The bank was essentially facilitating these terrorist transactions through crypto wallets.
Let's talk about Episode 6, Murky Waters. That title feels very appropriate.
Chelsea's off-the-books probe worries her closest ally, and Peter and Isabel's rescue plan spirals out of control when the father joins the fray. This is where things really start falling apart for our protagonists.
And we get another death here, Mike Fonseca?
Yeah, David Zayas plays Mike Fonseca. According to Screen Rant's twist analysis, the father poisons his drink. What made it effective was how likable Mike was, someone easy to love and root for, which made his death hit harder.
Episode 7 has this interesting title, Once Upon a Time, that's very different from the others.
It's a flashback episode. An American legal consultant in Mexico finds himself caught in an impossible bind. Years later, he's trapped once again, and Peter is his only hope. This probably gives us backstory on the conspiracy's origins.
That connects to Jacob Monroe's history with Zapata, right?
Exactly. Entertainment Weekly's breakdown mentions that decades before, Monroe was blackmailed by the CIA into becoming a mole in Zapata's Mexico City operation. He fell in love with one of Zapata's employees and used her to gain intel.
So Monroe has this complicated history with the very terrorist he's supposedly connected to funding.
Right, but here's the twist. Monroe isn't actually funding the LFS. The page content makes it clear that while he has history with Zapata, he's not the one behind the terrorist financing. The real conspiracy goes much deeper.
Episode 8 is Truth Be Told. Sounds like revelation time.
An enigmatic opponent pushes Peter to his limits in a ruthless mind game. Jacob uses his vast database of secrets as a bargaining chip. This is where we learn about Monroe's, or should I say, Jacob Myers' extensive records.
Wait, Jacob Myers? That's a different name.
Yeah, according to Screen Rant's ending explanation, the broker's real name was Jacob Myers, and he happened to be Isabel's father. He kept extensive records of nearly every dirty deed committed across the globe.
So Isabel is investigating her own father without knowing it?
Exactly. And he ensured that ahead of his murder, Isabel could access this information. The page content says this was always Isabel's story to tell.
Episode 9 is Lockstep. That suggests everything's coming together.
With his cabinet urging swift retaliation, POTUS weighs his options. Isabel and Jay scramble to crack Jacob's code. Peter's day takes an explosive turn. The political pressure is mounting while our protagonists race against time.
And the finale is called Razzmatazz, which is either brilliant or completely unhinged for a political thriller.
I love that title choice. The description says Peter and Isabel are on their own, on the run, and out of time, putting their lives on the line to expose the conspiracy before it silences them for good. It's this desperate final push.
So what actually happens in the finale? Who's really behind everything?
According to Entertainment Weekly's breakdown, it's not just one person. A banker, a billionaire, and the US president all factor into the season's endgame. The conspiracy reaches the highest levels of power, including the President of the United States.
The president is involved? That's huge!
The page content mentions that every move opens another door, unveiling another corrupt participant, including the president. It's this web of financial crimes, terrorist attacks, and political corruption that reaches the highest levels of power.
And Isabel finally gets to break her story?
Yes. Screen Rant's analysis emphasizes that this was always Isabel's story to tell. She gets the information from her father's records, and Freya Myers becomes pivotal in validating her story. Isabel finally exposes the truth.
But the season finale doesn't exactly serve justice, according to Entertainment Weekly.
Right, which is very much in line with the Night Agent's style. Nothing is ever what it seems, and justice isn't always clean or complete. It sets up more complexity for Season 4.
Speaking of Season 4, what does this ending set up?
The page content mentions that the ending wrapped up Peter's latest conspiracy while teasing more adventures. Screen Rant notes that where the characters go from here remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, more twists await them.
Let's talk about the ratings. How did audiences respond to this season?
The episode ratings from the page content show some interesting patterns. Episode 1 got an 8, Episode 5, The Isolation Play, got 8.6, and the finale, Razzmatazz, scored 8.9, the highest of the season.
So audiences really responded to that casino infiltration episode and the finale.
Yeah, and Episode 6, Murky Waters, also scored 8.5. These were the episodes where the action really ramped up and the conspiracy started unraveling. The lowest was Episode 3, Dark Matters, at 7.7.
What makes this season different from the previous two?
According to Screen Rant's analysis, Season 3 became a more complex mystery than the two explored in previous seasons. The page content describes it as Netflix's Reacher replacement, with the amount of plot twists being the most evident.
And the moral complexity seems much deeper this time.
Absolutely. Peter's forced to weaponize his own guilt, work with people he doesn't trust, and compromise his values just to get evidence. It's this constant tension between doing the right thing and doing what's necessary.
So when you step back from all this complexity, what's the real story Season 3 is telling?
It's about how modern corruption works, through financial networks, crypto transactions, and political influence that spans multiple countries. But it's also about the personal cost of fighting that corruption when the system forces you to compromise your own values.
And Isabel's journey represents the power of journalism to expose truth, even when it's personal.
Exactly. She's investigating her own father's crimes without knowing it, but she still follows the story wherever it leads. That takes incredible integrity, especially when the truth could destroy her family's legacy.
Here's what really strikes me about Season 3. It shows how financial crimes and terrorism intersect in ways that traditional law enforcement isn't equipped to handle. Jay Batra predicted a terrorist attack just by following suspicious money transfers. That's terrifying and brilliant storytelling.
And it reflects real-world concerns about how cryptocurrency and shell companies can be used to fund illegal activities. The show isn't just entertaining, it's showing us vulnerabilities in our financial system that actually exists.
Remember Flight Pima 12 from our opening? That missile strike that killed 157 Americans wasn't just a terrorist attack. It was the result of a financial conspiracy that reached the highest levels of American government. The Night Agent Season 3 proves that in the modern world, following the money is more important than following the guns. And sometimes the biggest threat to democracy comes from the people sworn to protect it.